Hi guys, Stu here with a new video, and this video is another video about 10.2. So I've made a video first about the World of Warcraft article, which was pretty bland, and now I have some positive news. I want to talk about it really quickly. But first and foremost, I want to thank Icy Veins for talking to Morgan Day and Patrick Scarborough, and they actually asked PvP questions. So at least one question about PvP, so that's a good thing. So I'm very excited about that. But let's talk really quickly about the new stuff coming into 10.2. I want to be concise as well, so I don't make a very big video about it. So 10.2 final major content patch for Dragonflight. They still don't want to reveal about it. I think it is pretty much hanging on the fact of 10.2 being well received or not. If it's not well received, they might push out 11.0 at the end of the 10.2.7 patch, or they might make a 10.3 mini patch, like while waiting for the new expansion, depending on BlizzCon, of course. I think on BlizzCon we will know a bit more. New race or class combinations, no, but you will have more combinations about customizations about druids. In general, which classes are getting sizable class changes? So it will be all three rogue specs. We also saw DH, but they didn't really talk about it here. But demon hunters are also going to get some changes. Broad healing changes as well. So they want to have more power to single target healing and less about AoE healing. So it will be more punishing to do AoE healing because of it will cost way more mana. And also they will look at bigger cooldowns. So that's a good thing, I guess. Also for PvP, we'll have to see. But in general, I think you have to make healing fun. I think that's the main question. Is it going to be fun, but also more engaging, like CC-wise and damaging-wise? They're going to, again, take a look at quite a few druid specializations. I think druid is just a talking point since 10.0 pretty much. But we'll have to see how they're going to do that. They are looking to simplify the discipline priest rotation to not be reliant on stacking modifiers. So I guess they're going to combine a few spells, or they're going to combine those spells into talents with passives instead of like trying to stack those modifiers, which I think it's maybe the better way to go. And they're going to see a power fusion, probably going to be a nerf, to be honest. Because they're going to see at interactions, like for example specific specs like demonology, warlock, unholy death knights, but also probably devastation evoker. How are super blooms going to work? Those are like the how it's called, events, I guess. So I'm going to just skip over it because I don't think I can explain it well enough. How will the Netherwing faction will be involved in 10.2? So that is pretty much like lore. Are we planning to change the gearing upgrading systems? For PvE, I see maybe a few changes here and there, but for PvP there is nothing. Are there any plans to update the Brawlers Guild? So that's, I think, the 1v1 thing where you fight 1v1, but so they're trying to look at maybe a way to involve an evergreen way to implement it, like for example mage tower. To be honest, I don't really know too much about Brawlers Guild. I didn't really play whenever it was like current content. Is Outlands Cup coming in patch 10.2? No information. Dragon riding mounts, I don't really care about that, I'm sorry guys, but if you want to read that, you can also read the Icy Veins article, which I'm going to link it. Throne, those are the Mythic Plus questions. Throne of Thighs and Devil Bloom are going to on rotation in Mythic Plus Season 3. What the biggest challenges when updating old dungeons to modern day standards? Something the team is still getting used to is how to itemize all dungeons. Yeah, I think that's probably the hardest way to do. Can you briefly talk about PvP changes and the new PvP brawl? I really love how they have to ask briefly about a few updates about PvP, but we'll have to see. Maybe there's something new about it, because again, this is a pretty big update for us. The class reworks usually have big PvP changes, so that's a good thing. They are adding a new brawl called Battleground Blitz. Those familiar with solo shuffle from Shadowlands know that this is an experiment to see how a solo queue experience for rated battlegrounds may look like. Battlegrounds Blitz adds a solo queue for existing rated battlegrounds. So I don't really know this. I don't really understand this phrase. But yeah, it's just solo queue for RBGs pretty much. For I guess for the maps, like rated battlegrounds maps. For the specific brawl, they went with 8 players instead of 10. I would have seen maybe 7 or 6, but I understand maybe 8 because they're still going to keep 2 healers, I think, and 1 tank. So yeah, I think 2 heals and 1 tank would be making a bit more sense. Although I would like them to see reworked 2 reworked tanks, to be honest, but we'll have to see. And we're looking at a 10-15 minutes match length. I think that's a sweet spot. It's like Solo Shuffle, pretty much. Just know we have to see how the queues are going to be, but I have trust that if there is a solo queue RBG system, that more people will be playing about it because it's more fun to heal, first and foremost, because you don't have dampening. And I think depending on if they are actually going to switch maps around and how they're going to modify it, I don't think they're going to do that, but if they do, I think it could be for the better. So we'll have to see. So 10-15 minutes match length, it would mean that they're going to speed it up somehow, some way. So again, Arati Basin, Eye of the Storm, how are you going to speed it up? So we'll have to see. The addition of the ping wheel will make the social experience for battlegrounds more manageable. I think having the tool is great for solo queue coordination, which I agree. I think the most hard thing to have about the ping wheel is that it is actually very hard to find a good keybind for it, because I use all my keybinds for important stuff, and putting something that is also important and replacing it with something else is very, very much hard. So I have to see and look for a good button to use, because I also used it in Solo Shuffle. I feel like it's useful. Now I don't know if people react well on this. It's not as League of Legends where you ping back, so you see them ping back, so you go away. It's more effective, I think. But World of Warcraft will have to see and train on BGs and how people are going to react on it. But anyways, this is pretty much the video. I wanted to talk about the interview. Pretty much my opinion is it's actually a good thing that they're going to talk about PvP a bit more. I think they're going to, there might be a PvP interview, guys. There might be, because this is a pretty big thing. If they make an interview and actually explain their philosophy behind Battleground Blitz, what they want to achieve and what they want to do with it, and also talk about Solo Shuffle a bit, I think it could be an interesting thing for the game. Also the reworks and just in general, those updates can make PvP way better. And I have some faith, although I said on my previous video, which is also posted, that you should temper a bit your expectations. I think this kind of gives you the hopium that is needed to actually get tethered to the game and play more World of Warcraft PvP. Personally, I really love the gameplay of Dragonflight. I think it's smooth and also rewarding to play when you're playing. I think the one thing that is not rewarding is everything except the gameplay. So for example, the MMR, how the queues are for DPSers, how healing is very punishing, because for example, as a resto druid, you have to be really using your action per minute effectively, or else you're going to fall behind. But I think it's like this for every single healer, for example, Disc Priest. But if they're looking at their rotation and how they are going to deal damage as a Disc Priest, I think it's for the better. I think it's going to be probably better and better. We'll have to talk about it and we'll have to see it. Again, I'm really watching Warhead every single time to see if there is something new. If there is something new, I'm going to post it really quickly, because this is the time for me to actually show you guys the good and neat things about 10.2. Again, am I excited? I'm actually excited for any real patch about World of Warcraft, as long as I have some hope. Like for example, 10.1.7, I had no hope because I saw on the BTR how slow it was and how nothing changed. But right now 10.2, it's a start, and they actually announced a few things that are quite cool, so we'll have to see and play them. If Battleground Blitz is fun, I'm going to probably spam the hell out of it. But I think if it's out for 10.2, the issue is it is a brawl, so it's limited time. When is it going to come out? Maybe a 0.5 or 0.7 patch, maybe a just 11.0 patch or 10.3 patch. We'll have to see. But I'm excited to see a bit more about that. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. And we will catch you probably very soon in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.